Forex indices, commodities, crypto, and over 100 stocks. Now, at AAAFX, you pay no commission on any Forex pair using their ECN Plus account and low commissions on cryptos and stocks. Plus, you can deposit with cash or crypto, get a free VPS with deposits over 5K, and easily integrate the well-known copy trade service Zulu Trade. While you're waiting for the stream to start, go and check them out by clicking the link in the description, comments, or visit AAAFX.com.
All right, what's up, guys? Can everyone hear me today? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Throw me a yes. Throw me a no. Someone let me know. I need to know if y'all can hear me. Beautiful, beautiful. That was the problem we had with the last stream, and I wanted to be sure that was the first thing we got out of the way. So, man, I hope everyone's having a great day. What a wild weekend trading that we got here. Basically, we've got some dot to dots through here. If we zoom out on this 5 minute, we can see that we've got a dot here, dot here, dot here. Just bounced off that trend line right there. Take this dot and you connect here and here. So we know this is going to be an area of, if we decide to fall, and we got 3 dots up top. So you guys know the more dots that we have up top, the more chances we have to break. And 3 dots is what we look for. And then if you get 3 dots on the bottom, the same thing. So essentially, market is open now. So what I'd be looking for is a break of this area right here, and we would have a break of this area right there. So as you can tell, where our break is here and our break is here, it's almost dead center with where price. Yeah, not bad. It was right there. 53 pips and 47 pips, so not bad. We got news at 10 o'clock. So hopefully we get a push before the news. That would be nice. We have been ranging just a little bit since we went up yesterday, right there, back down over. So that's about it. Let's see what happens. How's everyone's week been so far trading? Good, bad, break even, loss? I haven't been on the charts much this week. We just got back home from travels. As you guys know, we've been on the road a lot. And with all the craziness this week, we were like, you know what? We're just going to chill out. Let's see here. Bear with me 1 second here, guys. I'm looking at some of the entries here. So let's see. Break even, sir. What are your stop loss for either buys or sell? Andy, what's the stop loss? So Taking these on the 5 minute, if we get a break here, I always like to use the previous one prior to market open, which would be here. So not a bad stop loss, 10 pips below this one right here. So, I mean, you're looking at a 118 pip stop loss on that trade. If you get into this one here, you'd be looking at 10 pips. I mean, that right there is before market open, but I like this one better. So that one's going to be about 111 hertz. So, I mean, no matter which way we swing, really it's about 100 and anywhere from 111 to 118 pip stop loss. Hey, Andy, would you say using a $1,000 account on Carbon with a one lot size is good for under leveraging? Not really, because even with this trade at $1 per pip, you would be risking 120 pips for your stop loss. So you'd be risking 11% for this trade. And you should be, when you're trading US30, you know, I say a 1 to 2% risk is ideal. So, I mean, ultimately, trading it using stop losses like this, it's going to be pretty tight as far as what you can do with $1,000. Yeah, I've got more buys down there. I got my latest buy. I've got a $500 a pip. I got a $500 pip right here on this buy. And then, I'm sorry, $250 a pip on this buy. And then I got $5 a pip on this buy. I mean, 500. So I've got $750 worth of buys right here that I've already protected here. Closed a little bit of partials. So yeah, we're looking solid on it. And good morning, Jacqueline. Chad, 50-50 this week, but I feel I'm getting a little bit better with seeing things. Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy week as far as trading is concerned. That's for sure. A lot of people wasn't expecting the big spike that we had. You know, because a lot of people use common sense, you know. It's like we got 8.5% inflation still across the board. Yeah, we claimed 0, which means we're still 8.5. So everyone's, you know, clapping their hands and screaming and super excited. It's really nothing to be excited about. So a lot of people wasn't expecting that spike. So there was a lot of people that ended up getting wrecked on that trade all across the board because everything, you know, just spiked. And most went the opposite direction of what people thought they would. Let's see. So if I were to sell the swing high dots and buy the swing high 10 pip stop loss, 100 pip at break even, what do you think? That's a good idea. I mean, yeah, you can trade the dots from swing highs to swing lows using a really, really tight stop loss, more or less scalping the positions. I've seen people get away with that. The only thing that gets you in trouble is if you don't have any sort of protection or stop losses, and then you have, you know, a 200 or 300 pip candle come out of nowhere. It's going to ruin your day. Sean, I got wrecked, but it was only $1. Okay, so yeah, that's not too terrible. I'm going to zoom in on this so it looks better on the screen for you guys. I forget when it's streaming, things don't always look the best. So today, guys, I will say this. I won't be able to, I know sometimes we take these things on for an hour to 2 hours. Today, I've got roughly about until, I know 10 o'clock is the news. So I'm going to try to swing till about 10:05, give or take. But I have a very important meeting that I've got to get on right around that 10 o'clock mark. So I'm going to try to push it as far as I can. Got my dude on here. Good morning, Andy. I learned so much from the Nashville class. I appreciate it. Man, thanks so much for coming to that class. You guys have heard me talk about it for for months now. Had a 3-day in-person class in Nashville, which was great. Not just about trading, talked about life, investments, different ways into building your wealth, even outside of trading. We all went out, ate dinner, had a good time. So for those that ended up coming to it, I greatly appreciate y'all. And it was a time to remember for sure. So your entries and stop losses usually based off swing high, swing low dots. Yes. Why not buy above, just sell below these recent trend lines? I am right here. This is a trend line right there. And then that would be where the buy is. And then this is a trend line. And if it breaks, that would be the sell. Do you still use Coinbase to deposit to Forex broker? I've not deposited money in years. Well, going on 3 years now into a broker. But I would say that Coinbase and Gemini are always going to be your best bet for hands down. Yep, on the 29th, you were so confident with your sell that I got obsessed with it going short and hit a few stops recently thinking it's going to drop. I'm still obsessed with it selling, hands down. There's still, it's everything that we have. If you're trading fundamentals, which I try not to get involved in because then you get biased, which is why I have my bias, because I reacted to the market. But everything that we have right now is smoke and mirrors, hands down. Hands down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Good morning, Daniel from Miami. What's up, my dude? But I've been noticing on the hour that it was a steady push up and it's riding a 4-hour dot to dot. It is. And we broke that daily zone. So for you guys that are in my private Discord, obviously you saw our daily markups. And if you go back and watch those videos, you see that we had our daily zone breaks, which pushed up into the levels. And I said, if we close a healthy daily candle above our daily zone breaks, we're going to push to 34,000. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. What's up, Brian? Hope I can finally catch any future ones, man. What's up, Sam? Yeah, it was a fun time. A lot of fun. Oh, there we go. In the trade. So what we'll go ahead and do is get that in there to protect ourselves. So right there's our 33,422. So take that to 12. Stop loss activated. 30 minute, and then just to consolidate candles on the live Zooms and or live streams, I just go to the 5 minute. That way it just cleans things up a little bit. So I've been trading for 14 years. So when I started out trading, I traded stocks, and stocks wasn't that hard. At the time I started trading stocks, basically anything that you were buying, it was going up. So, pretty much profitable when I first started trading that. As far as trading Forex, it came pretty easy to me because coming from crypto is when I got into Forex. And if you know anything about crypto, it moves extremely fast. You have to react fast. So, Forex was never an issue for me. I would say before I become profitable to the point where I was like, okay, I can take Forex serious, about a solid 6 months. So for this trade here, for the buys, I have no TP targets really for the buys other than protect. So would love just to get some movement in here to protect this trade. But if we zoom out here and look, we've got, actually, let's do this. Let's go, try to don't make it so small on y'all's screen. Right there is our last high point, and that's a big wick fill. So you've got a zone that runs from the top of that swing high to the bottom of that swing high. So, you could run a TP target, right here at that 33,601 like that. And then obviously, if we can get up into this area right here, we can go ahead and protect this trade. And then we'd close partials right here and then we would close the full trade right there. Hey, Andy, hope as well. What EA and indicators do you currently on MT4 chart? Looks very clean. So this is MT5. I don't use MT4. MT4 will probably be retired across all brokers within the next couple of years. They've stopped supporting it. So as far as any new developments, patches, or anything like that, MetaQuotes is no longer supporting that. So everything is going straight MT5. And I use the dots that I use on here are just swing high, swing low indicators. And they come standard on Carbon Capital. So you're always going to have a swing high. When price is moving up, the swing high will constantly float until price stops and starts moving the other direction. These repaint as they're going up. So once you have ones over here, they're not going to repaint. So that's why you want to follow price within the trend lines. And as price is going down, it was repainting the swing low. We know then that we're looking for buys. If price goes up and starts coming down, then obviously this swing high will stay the same and we'd be looking for sell entries. Let's see. I'm owner asset manager and always looking for more tools. Yeah, Kendrick, shoot me a message on Instagram for sure. It's at Real Andy Peters. Hey, Andy, are you gonna buy? Yes. I had my buy set above the trend line breakup here with this area right there. And it went up and tapped us. And now we just wait and see how it plays out. Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? Man, thank you. Someone actually asking about me instead of charts. That's nice. I like that for a change. Weekend's going to be pretty chill, to be honest. We're going to go see my grandparents and hang out with them for a bit. Come home and literally just relax. It's been For those of you that don't know, we moved into a new house a year ago, and we celebrated a year this week being here, and we've only been at this house for 91 days. So that's how many days we've been like on the road or traveling. So for those that can do quick math, that means we've been away from our house for 274 days. So it's like, it would be really, really nice just to chill at home for a bit. So that's the plan. How about yourself, bro? Let's see. How much do you usually close partials? 50%. Always close partials at 50%. How do you control your emotions even when you're down around your stop loss? I'm not over leveraged. So, I mean, for this trade, I'll look at it as, I'm risking $2,900 for this trade. And this week I've closed out just in partials. Hadn't been a lot, but I mean, this week alone, I've closed out like $11,000 just in the small trades that I've taken. So knowing that it's Friday and I'm taking this trade, which, I mean, technically you guys know I hate to trade on Mondays and Fridays. So Fridays is always out of my comfort zone because typically you don't get a super, super good push on Fridays until mid-afternoon or right before market close. So, I look at it as I got 11K. If I'm going into this trade, risking all 11K, I could go heavy with it, but I'm not. So if I lose this trade, then I'm still walking away with an $8,000 a week, which isn't terrible. No one's going to be mad about that. And that's for me trading for maybe 10 minutes this week. So you're always under leveraging no matter the account size you have, and you're playing within your equity. So obviously when you have that, you're not really stressed about it. It'd be like if I gave everyone $1,000 on here, it's free money. You just got $1,000. And then somewhere along the drive home, you lost $200 of it. I mean, yeah, you lost $200, but it was $1,000 of free money. So you're not super mad about it. So, I mean, that's kind of how you have to look at trading. Higher time frame analysis for today's setup, I have none. We're trending above a daily zone, so there's no higher time frame analysis at all. If you were looking at higher time frame analysis, you wouldn't even be trading today. So I'm always using house money and trading within that range, and I think that's one misconception. Well, not really misconception. That's something that a lot of people has gotten away from because they're looking at their capital or they're trading a funded account and they're looking at how much they have in the funded account. So I trade against how much money I've made. So total, as you guys know, in this account, I'm up like $1 million and some change. So if we do some math on it real quick, break out my calculator because my brain is not going to do this math. So right now, we're sitting on profit of 1.5 million for the year. So if I look at 1.5 million, and I know that of that positive equity, I can risk 20%. That's a safe number for me. So I've got about $300,000 across the board that I can float, that I'm okay with if I had to, that I can pull from. So you can do that in your same. If you're trading a $10,000 account and that $10,000 account is up to like 15,000, then don't trade within the 15,000, trade within the 5,000. That way you're always trading, within your equity and not your original balance. And if you get to your original balance, you can sit there and think for a second and say, okay, whoa, I've made some bad decisions. I made some good decisions, but then I made some bad decisions to take me back. What do I need to do? It just makes it so much easier. Hope you have a blast with the fan. Person I've got a massage book. Heck yeah, that's amazing. I love my massages, man. Keeps the body loose. Let's see here. How's my granddad? So, man, Papa's not doing well. They've called hospice in on him to come in and help and make things easier for him. So anytime, as you guys know, anytime hospice comes in, it's just never a good sign. So really, mentally that's rough on me. It's like my dad. I grew up with my papa from the time I was, basically born until 16, 17 years old. So, I tell people I've got two father figures in my life, and that's my dad, and that's my papa. So it's been rough on me. I'm not going to lie, but, I journal and I write a lot and I think about life, and he's had 90 amazing years of life. He's got to live the dream. And when I say live the dream, I mean, so this is on my mom's side of the family. My grandfather was born into just poverty. He had 11 brothers and sisters. They lived in buses, train cars. Like they never had anything. He dropped out of school in the 6th grade, and about when he was 18, finally just started his own business. And around his 2021, business started doing really well. And then in his mid-20s, money was flowing in. Self-made millionaire, got to buy everything that he ever wanted, got to take care of the family. He never experienced death within his downline of family, which I think is pretty amazing. So he never lost any sons, daughters, grandkids, nothing. He's got to see his great grandkids grow up and be, 12, 9 and 8 years old. And his health's only been bad for probably the last really 4 years. So when you look at that type of track history, it's a really good life. So that's just what I have to keep reminding myself, is he lived an amazing life. And in life, you have seasons, and there's no way that he's going to live to be 150. So you have to do the math. And being a trader, math is something that you become good at. And it's like the math just isn't there. His clock is running out, and I hate it, but I just have to understand that's part of life. So, I'm able to deal with it from a different viewpoint than just, man, he's in a bad shape, looking at the overall picture. But no matter what, it still hurts. You never want to see anyone you love go through what he's going through and see just, life not going well. But thank you so much for asking. Means a lot. And, all we can do is just enjoy what time we have left with him, now and soak it all in. So for about the last 10 years, anytime I've went to his house, we went out to eat dinner, I'll take my phone and click record, and I'll just set it on the table and just let it record, him talking and conversations. So I've got tons and tons of videos and content, to share with my kids as they start to get older and to go back and watch. So, we're doing everything that we can to kind of capsule those memories, I guess. But thank you guys. Thank you. And Tim, amazing. I'm ready. I'm back in town. I have no plans of doing really anything for the rest of the year except for like 2 little bitty trips. So I'm in, man. I'm in. But thank you guys for the great vibes, the prayers, everything. It means a lot. It really does. Oh, we got one here that watched the paper trail stream. I love it. He says, I'm going to share this one because this is good. Mr. Ed Larco says, hey, loved your paper trail stream post on Instagram. And the thing, you should pin it because every trader should have that imprinted in their brains. And I'm actually doing a full podcast on paper trail. I think that trading is the number one thing. Well, I say number one thing, probably the number one group of people where we get so, I guess, engrossed with the money that it's so, we've got our mindset on money that we don't think about just asking. We're like, man, this person's got a big house. This person has Lambos. This person goes out and parties all the time. They're always spending money here and doing this. So they've got to be a profitable trader, or they've got to own a profitable business, or they've got to be a profitable business, owner of multiple businesses. So here's my money, take it, without even saying, what's your history look like with your businesses? What's your history look like with trading? What's your history look like? And no one asked that. They just take it because he posted a cool picture on Instagram. He's got to be a really good person, and he's got to be a really good business owner or this and that. And there's just no paper trail. And I think that's what really messes people up. So it's like, guys, please be more cautious. Use your paper trail. Just ask them, what is your prior victories? If you're a professional baseball player, soccer player, NFL player, whatever it is, people are always proud of their victories. So we should be asking the same to other people that we're utilizing as mentor coaching. But yeah, I'm going to do a whole podcast on it. It'll be solid. What is the price at your first take profit for TP? Carlo, and thank you for the prayers, brother. 33,601 is where I would like to see our first TP go. Now, what happens is when we play these games of market open with our entries on a trend line break, we play this game of, man, we got put in the trade and now we're ranging. So market open is on this candle right here. So if we take that candle and look, we broke out of market open price, closed 2 candles above it. We were above trend and we had our entry. All right. So valid trade. And then here, right there is the market candle open. So we will turn those, just for argument's sake, we're going to make those black. So we know that the black lines are a market open candle. All right. So we broke a 5-minute candle. Obviously, we wicked down, pretty hard. Came up here, boom, got in the trade. As soon as we got in the trade, what it did is slam back down, and now we're trading back in market zone, okay, market open zone. So we're in consolidation. Obviously, this is worst case scenario you can have when you've got news at 10 o'clock because of that. So now we have a gap right here. This gap will fill more than likely. So I'll show you what I'll do. For me, I don't want to get knocked out down here to have this gap fill. So I will watch this trade manually and see what happens. And there's a quite possibility I get put in both of these trades that I'd have to manage. And since it's my trades, we'll watch and see what happens. And you guys can see how I react to this trade. So the gap that I'm talking about that we have here is from here to here. While it's a small gap, this gap right here will be placed. So now Andy Peters is in both trades. So this trade here, we got a little bit of profit. We're on that bottom trend line. I'm going to close that trade. I will close that trade only because this trend line here is a 30-minute coming up that I had. And I may get a push back up here into this range, close that gap, and go back up. And we'll see if I'm right. If I'm not, you guys get to see me wrong and lose a trade on a live. Yay. So we'll see what happens. And I really don't care about news that much. I'll react to it and just see what happens. But so the bottom trade we had there that we closed out of, not crazy, $381 right there. But what I want is I want to close this gap, hit this trend line, and then go up like that. That's what I want. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we'll see what happens here. Let's see here. So Raphael, yes, I entered a sell at 33.5. No, it was a buy. Sorry, I entered a buy based on this trend line break right here heading upwards because it matched everything that we trade, which is trend line break above open candle, 5-minute candle closed above it right here. Entered the trade, and as soon as we entered the trade right there, bam, come down. So had my sell stop down here, which it triggered. I knew this was my 30-minute trend line here. So I really don't think that we're going to get a break right here at the 10 o'clock news of this. Could be completely wrong. So went ahead and closed out for like $300-400 worth of profit right here. And now just waiting for it to go back up and tap this, hit this trend line, see if we can get that push up. 5 minute. 5 minute timeline to consolidate candles on my end. The dot trade in Nashville was recorded. So the dot to dot, if you miss Nashville, I'll put it in here. Type in on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Type in Kirk Wheeler, Andy Peters. And the link that I just posted, well, not the link, but what I just told you to type in YouTube will take you to a full hour video of me trading the dots and how I personally trade. Actually, that needs to be like that. IG crash. It's getting that zone. GU on the monthly is still hitting the bottom area there, so that's solid. I've been holding that trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. 5 months I've been holding that trade. Now, knowing that we have this gap here, I'm going to show you guys how I play a gap. You guys, please don't take this trade with me because I'm only doing this to show you how I do these gaps when we see it in the market. All right, so we know we have a swing low down here, right? So anywhere in this area down here would be where I'm clicking buy. So I'm clicking buy in that area. And having this buy here, I'm going to take this TP and I want that TP to be right there. So that way, so I've got 400 in the bank down here. I'd put a little bit up here, not a ton. I mean, you're talking, another 400 or 500, which is $1,000 if it didn't go back up here. But I know at some point, this right here is going to come up and hit. This gray zone right here for me, I can do like this, a wick fill. So if I see this candle come back down here and tap and come back up, I can enter another buy. Come back down here, tap, I can do another buy. And then I just keep setting my TPs within this area right there. And I'm 1 minute past how long I'm supposed to be on here. Hey, babe, what time do you have to leave? Okay. So, guys, I've got like 5 minutes left. Great stream. Do you move stop loss to break even? Yes. So once in profit, once we can get a solid, 25, 30 pips in profit, move it to break even, then close partials, and then just watch it from there. You're very welcome, George. Obviously 1 minute views like that. So on the 5 minute, that was our wick fill. If we do it on the 1 minute, you're looking at that right there, which is your bounce, your bounce, your bounce. This trade now is in profit. So anytime I run my gap fill positions like this, I never put that down, just a tad like that. I'll never personally run a stop loss on these because I run them under leveraged, knowing that at some point, it could be a month from now, this trade will close. I'm not worried about the drawdown on it. I got positive equity. The only way for me to lose this trade in a way that it would hurt me at $1 a pip is for it to be $300,000 in drawdown, which isn't going to happen because we don't have that. The most I could be in drawdown on this trade is if the market were to tank to zero, which is $33,000. No, I'm sorry, it's not $1 a pip. I'm doing $10 a pip. My apologies. I've been so used to looking at pairs this past week. So yes, if the market tanked to zero, I would be setting at I'd be setting at $330,000. So that would tank my entire account. But it'd have to go to zero. That's not going to happen. So this trade here for me does not matter. It will close at some point. S&P, US30, they always go up. Yeah, 30-minute trend line. Looks like this right here. So I've got this trend line way over here. Let me do this real quick. It starts way down here. Basically right there on 8.3. And then I run it all the way up through here. And it taps that dot right there on 8.11. And then that's where our bottom tap was right there. Yeah, that's the beauty of being under leveraged. You can look like if you've got $100,000 account and you're trading $1 per pip, you know that there's going to be a tough way for you to be $5,000 in drawdown when you're in this $32,000 to $33,000 range, no matter what direction you're going. And Chad, congrats on those buys on OddU if you're in those OddU trades. If you're still in those buys from early on, they're kicking butt right now. Carlo, have a good weekend as well, brother. Thank you so much for being on here, and thanks for the support within the community. It means a lot. Hey, babe, will you make me a cup of coffee too, please? I never leave on time, ever. I get so, and that's the thing, guys. I love trading so much that, when I go here and get to trading, I just have too much fun with it. And watching it like a TV show has always been fun for me. Even if I'm not trading, I still like to watch it just to see what it's doing within the market and how people are, because we're not just seeing price. What you're seeing on this chart is emotions. Every time this candle is moving, it takes a lot of money to move these candles. So every time it's moving, it's people's emotions telling you on where they think the market is going and where they're entering and exiting positions. So it's like watching little tiny pixels of people screaming, sell, buy. So I just love seeing it. It's emotions. It's all price point is all emotions. I don't pay any attention to the R to R. Absolutely none. Does not. Since I'm a guy that protects almost every single entry I have, I'm not one of these guys that will enter a trade and say, okay, I'm willing to risk 3,000 and just let it run on my stop loss with a 3,000 TP, you know? So I get into a trade and it gets into profit. I protect close partials. And if it hits TP, cool. If it doesn't hit TP, cool. I'm not worried about it. It knocks me out normally at break even. So yeah, I'm not an R to R guy. Thank you. No disrespect to other traders. Yeah, I mean it's even tough for me. You know, it's tough for me to say, you know, if you're in this trade for profit, why wouldn't you just protect so you never lose your capital? You know, and that way you're always going to protect your capital. And then that's what got me thinking into this whole thing. That's why a bulk majority of traders don't trade live, own their own MT4 or MT5 platform with the same account number they've been using all year, is because they're trading multiple accounts, they're blowing accounts, they're going in with that R to R, losing a trade at 10K, losing a trade at 15K, having a couple of winners, losing another trade. It's like I've been trading the same account since March of this year, live in front of you guys. So that's kind of, you know, I feel like if more people, again, paper trail, are preaching at how good they are at something, or all the great trades they take, why are we not seeing the full picture? Why are we not seeing, you know, their accounts? Why are we not seeing their MT4, MT5s? Why are we not seeing the account numbers? And people say, but what's that have to do with it? Because it shows consistency. If I was jumping on here every single live with a different account number, sooner or later, someone's going to start questioning me. They're going to say, Andy, why do you keep changing accounts? Because there's no reason to keep changing accounts when you're trading. You're just trading the same account. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. And I could be completely wrong, but, you know, I just, I don't know. I come from a background of, you know, playing professional sports and being a professional athlete, and everything just kind of lines up with common sense when you're trying to do something at the highest level. So if we're trading and we're saying that we are, you know, trading at the highest levels possible of being a good trader, making, you know, X amount a year, then where's the paper trail outside of screenshots of profit? It should be somewhere, I think. And people say, what's the paper trail of their cars, or the paper trail of their houses, or the paper trail of their boats, or the paper trail? It's like, no, because that stuff is actually pretty easy to get. Like you can go right now, and if you've got 40 to 50K, you can go buy a McLaren. If you've got 25 to 30K, you can go buy you a Lambo. Like it doesn't take crazy money to get it. You're going to have the money to pay for the monthly payment, but monthly payment's going to be, you know, $3,000 to $4,000. I mean, that's not terrible. Yeah, you need good credit. You need a little bit of money coming in, you know. And people are like, well, 4,000 is a lot. Well, I mean, it's not crazy if you've got things that are still supporting you. But even then, you know, it just shows that you're a good business owner and you've got something else that's bringing in the cash. So, like I said, I think that being transparent and trading, staying on the same platform, staying on the same account, seeing the history of being able to say, look, from March of this year till present, this is what I've been able to do with an account. Here's all the trades. Here's all the losses. Here's all the wins. This is where we're at. You know, I wanted to be that breath of fresh air into the crypto, Forex, and stock world, I guess you could say. Oh man, that real important meeting. I'm going to be so late to it. Luckily, it's a meeting that I'm personally having to start and host, but and it's with some of mine and my dad's clients, so they'll be understandable. Thank you, Veronica, for being here. So good question. Do you always take partials, or do you ever leave a whole position running? I've left whole positions running for quite some time, but I will still typically chip away at that partial. Just it's always been a thing for me to put money in the bank and protect. It's how I traded with. It was probably what brought it into the forex was that's how I trade in crypto. And crypto is all about partials because you get into something, it goes 1,000x. Why in the world are you going to take a chance on trying to make 1,100x or lose everything? So I would just go ahead and take partials. That way I'm always making profit no matter what. Thanks for the session. I break even for the week. Awesome, Chad. Sorry about that, guys. Dogs get a little protective over the house here. Poto. That's our killer attack dog. He wants to protect the house at everything that he will attack a bird that lands outside because he thinks that bird's trying to come into his territory, which is good for us. I never had any worries ever. Isn't that right, buddy? Isn't that right? Morris, thank you so much for being here, brother, for real. I appreciate the support on the live stream for sure. My dog protecting your house like you protect your capital. Amen to that. He's a good dog. That's probably the best investment I've ever made. If you guys have seen Anthony Williams' dogs, he got his dogs from us getting our dog. And I told him, he was asking me a long time ago. He was like, how's the dog with kids? How's it with your wife? And I'm like, dude, he thinks he's a big puppy, but when it comes time to protect or really stand ground, no one's touching my wife or kids as long as that dog's around. Oh.
Lady, can you please take the dogs out?
I love it, bro. Nashville was fun. It was a ton of fun. Just seeing the things click for people. Amazing. Please always calculate your risk, your stop loss, prevent loss from an aggressive move, and also allow all day. XAU canine. He's a Belgian Malinois, and he's a fun one. Yeah, the biggest. I mean, the most common mistake with traders in general is just over leveraging because they want it now. They'll go sit in the classroom for 4 years in college, not making any money, paying the school to learn, to then get out and work for years to pay off the debt they just learned, and they have no problem with that. But they won't do the same with trading. Take 4 years to study it, to learn it, to invest in it, and then become profitable. So in year 6, 7, or 8, no one will do that because they're like, that's too long. But they do it with everything else in their life. So because of that, it gets you in that realm of over leveraging, wanting more, wanting more, wanting more. And before you know it, like, you're done. How many piss I missed? About 2. Yeah, that's funny. That is what we're using for policing. I love them dogs, man. Same. I mean, just an all around great dog, and just knowing what they're capable of just even adds more to it. So absolutely love them. So guys, I'm gonna give it till 10:30. That's about the max I can pull this. I'm looking at my phone, and I've already sent out a couple of notifications to ask them if I could push it out. They said no problem at all, but 10:30 is about the max I can do it. I will give you guys my Discord announcement link. In this way, however this plays out for myself, I'll share via my announcement channel. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to you guys now. That way you'll have it. I'm going to throw it in the chat box. So you guys be sure to go click this. This will get you access to my announcement channel, where I'll be keeping everyone updated with kind of how this trade decides to pan out once I get off here and how I handle the trade. What I'll do is when I get off here, I'll continue to record it on Zoom. And that way I'll upload it to my announcements channel so you guys can watch how I handle it. Because even though I'll be on the call, I'll still have my screen pulled up here. Thank you, T. And yeah, you guys just be sure to click that Discord link that I dropped so you can keep up with how I manage this trade. And yeah, that's really it. How much time do you spend on the charts on average? About probably 3 to 4 hours a week. On the low end, 2 hours a week. On the high end, probably 5 hours. So between 2 and 5 max. Unless I'm teaching or doing not classes or anything like that. But if it's me personally, about 2 to 5 hours. If I didn't have the Discord group and I wasn't trading live, it'd be probably about 30 to 40 minutes a week. And D Civic OT, thanks as well, brother. And I hope you have a great weekend as well. Look cute. I'll be there. I've got my appointment in the building at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm going to go. I'll leave here probably about, what time is it? 10:30. I've got my call. I'll probably be out of here at about 11 and then head there. to my appointment around 1.
Okay. The backpack is in the front seat. It's got the chargers and your iPads.
Oh, it's already got everything in there?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, babe. Be careful. You don't need any money because I'll pay for it when I get there. We're going to go to work today.
I just think it's silly. Love you, babe.
Love you too, babe.
Love you, guys.
She's already walked outside. All right, 10:30 mark. That's a new 5-minute candle. Let this play out for 1 minute. And then I'm off here. But like I said, I'll continue recording on Zoom while I'm on my other call because it's a phone call. So I'll have Zoom going in the background. And then that way you guys can just see how I react to this market. Thanks for y'all's time as well. You guys had to jump on here and hang out with me. I was hoping we'd have a bigger, push than what we had for sure. But we're just a few pips from being right back to market open. I mean, currently where price is right there. I mean, you're talking, this right here. Wait, yeah, that was our market candle where's our 1630 down right there. Right there. That was 37. It was down right there. We marked up. So yeah, we're still consolidating. Oh yeah, I'm on the 1 minute. That's why. Jump to the 5 minute. I was like, I said that does not look right at all. Yeah, so I mean we're trading in the 5-minute market candle open, which is this big one right here. We're right back into it right there. So and guys, I'll be here every Friday. Like I said, as long as people are showing up and you guys are supporting the channel, supporting myself, be sure you click that, like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Then I'll continue doing it. So Carbon actually has a VPS. So I use the VPS that Carbon offers. If you go into your dashboard and click on Help Desk and submit a ticket, they can get you set up with their VPS. Let's see here. For Business Beyond, can you just repost your question? Because there's a ton of questions on here. Yes, Michael. Oh, come on. Look at that wick. Seriously? So is that why if you were trying to track risk to reward, it wouldn't make sense? Because I'm taking partials and I'm protecting at break even. So it would make no sense at that point. Thanks, Andy. Always good to see and learn for you. Hey, same to have you here. Holy Jesus. Look at that wick. I mean, you're talking not even a pip. No. Not even a pip. Half a pip. Hey, sweetie.
Did the TV get in the background?
No, the TV's okay, sweetie.
I mean, did it get in the background while I was watching?
No, you're good, I promise.
Okay.
Good. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate that.
Because when you stopped talking, the TV was talking.
No, sweetie.
I thought your dad's going to yell when he's done with me.
No, you guys are completely fine. I appreciate you thinking of me. And if you don't have positive equity floating, would you still use the strategy? Yes, I would still use the strategy of the 1% to 2% risk and still protect at break even and everything. My strategy is just based on price, trading the swing high, swing lows, which is, for those that don't know, it's basically your demand zones and support and resistance zone. That's all it is. So that's all I trade. Because wherever there's support, you're going to have bounce. Wherever there's resistance, you're going to have a rejection. And when you break those two levels, you're going to have a push. If there's a swing high, a 1/10 of a pip from my TP. Shame. So what I'll do now is I will take this trade here because that's pretty dang close. I mean, mine was based on it closing a wick. So you guys watch this. Right there was the bottom of the wick. Where it tapped was right there, which is roughly exactly 1 pip away. So if I said for you guys not to take this trade, if you're in this trade and you don't have positive equity, I want to be sure I repeat this, then you want to close this trade. If you do not have positive equity, close this trade, you're in profit. If you do have positive equity, you're not worried about it. But again, if you don't have positive equity, you're setting at 33, 34 pips in profit, at least protect it and or close this trade. I only say that because getting this close, you can see trades go like this and come back down and test and then range before it closes out. So I don't want anyone stressing about that. What's the secret of making enough money on trading? Make enough money for about 3 years trading that you would need to live off of while still working your day job. If let's say that you can live off $80K a year, then trading should make you $80K a year for 3 years consistently before you think about becoming a full-time trader. Because if it doesn't, well, now you're in trouble. You know, if you've got a year where you make 20K, you got a year where you make 40K, another year you make 10K, and you quit that 80K job, you're losing money. Unless your goal is freedom and you've downsized your life. Like personally, man, I would, yeah. If I didn't have kids, my buddy Derek probably does it better than anyone. He was living a pretty successful life. He worked in corporate. He was making about $250,000 a year. Nice house, nice cars. Him and his wife had basically everything that they could use and or need. And they never planned on having kids. And he started trading. And he couldn't make $250,000 a year. I mean, his best year was like, I think 65, 70 and some change. But he stayed consistent in that range. I don't know if it was a mental block, going up in lot sizes, what it was. But I mean, he was stacking capital. So he had a year of like 70 something, had another year of, I think, like 50K, had another year of 60K. His wife was still working. He was focusing on trading. And he was like, we've stacked up enough money that we're making good money. Like we don't have to have this much money to live, but we're making good money. What do you think about like getting an RV and just traveling? You quit your job and I'm just going to trade. She was like, sure. So they did. With the money they had left over, they bought a really nice RV. I think they ended up paying the chunk down. I forget. I've actually got the text message. We were just talking about it the other day. And I want to be, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. So yeah, 60K down. Ended up paying 60K down for the RV. Financed the rest. They got out of their house, which market was good. So for them to get out of their house, I gave them a little bit of extra money in the bank, got rid of their cars. He's got that money coming in. Next thing you know, they're in an RV just traveling the US right now. And he trades. And he makes decent money. And, he's like, how much money can we spend? Making, like right now, they've got money in the bank. He's on track this year to make about 90K trading. So you divide that by 12 months. I mean, that's $7,500 a month. He's like, we're living in an RV. So we have food. You go to a campground. They were just at a campground, I think somewhere in Destin, Florida. And he was like, it's like $1,800 a month for them to stay there. And it's got a community pool, like super nice place. Like it's on the beach. Got the RV parked right out front. And he was like, heck, like it's a dream. So, some people can downsize their life to match whatever they're making in trading so they don't have to have a ton of money to support it. And then there's others who want to, live the life of the rich and famous while trading. And it takes a while to get there because the mentality to build an account means you're going to have to sooner or later increase your lot sizes. And I can tell you this right now, from trading $50 a pip on something like US30 to then trading $500 a pip will mess with your psychology if you're not prepared. Seeing $5,000 in drawdown versus $15,000 to $20,000 in drawdown will change the way you think. So you just have to be very cautious of that. And that's what me and Hannah were going to do. Hannah's always wanted to be a mother. So, I knew we were going to have kids at some point. But if for whatever reason, Lord willing or something that she couldn't have kids, then we were just going to get a van and live out of a van and just travel the US, What's the best time to level up on the lot size? When you see your account increase. So like, for example, if you're trading, say $5 a pip in US30 with a $10,000 account, when that account gets to 20,000, take the $5 and go to 10. And then when it gets to 30,000, take that 10 and change it to $15 and just go up in increments with what you're starting with. And then sooner or later, you get to a point where you might not want to change. You may have a $100,000 account trading $25 a pip because you're okay with making $2,500, $3,500 here and there. That's not a bad gig. In the society of trading, we've got this mindset of if we're not dropping, 50 lots, you're not a good trader. And it's not practical. There's not many people that are out here dropping, $500 a pip on trades. They're just not. Excuse me, that hiccup hurt. And social media has done that. If you go watch real traders, like for example, me and my buddy were talking, and he works as a trader on Wall Street, and we were talking about people that trade Forex that, have, because I've been there too, that have massive drawdown, like 80, 90,000 to drawdown, 150,000 to drawdown. And he was like, man, in our company, if we had a trade that was just negative, 50 to 80K, we just close it. We're not going to hold that trade. We're not going to hold it until the next day. We're not trading after hours with it. We're getting out of the trade and just cutting it off, and then we'll see where we can stack up. We know we've got a whole year. We're trading clients' monies. So they're not planning on making a withdrawal this week. They're not planning on withdrawing their money tomorrow. We're looking at an entire year. So we're truly managing their funds for a year. So if I lose 80K today, but I've had a year where I've made really good money within this account, I'm really not worried about that 80K. And tomorrow's a new day, and we just keep chipping away. The goal is at the end of the year, we made more money. So if someone brings us $100,000, our goal with that 100,000 is to make them about 15 to 20% for the whole year. So we have a lot of movement within there, and that's per 100,000 that they're looking at. He's like, so same thing happens if we're managing assets of $1 million. We're still looking at that, 15 to 20%. And that's on the high range. The low range is still our 3 to 5%. But yet we have people sitting at their house on their laptop that want to make 20 to 30% a week because that's what social media tells you have to do. And it's like the guys that are making the big money aren't even looking at it like that. So we just have to, always remember making that smaller amount isn't always a bad thing. Can you explain risk management to pass a funded challenge? You've got to double the account. There's no risk management to pass a challenge. I mean, if I'm being honest, you've got to double the account. They're giving you $10,000 to play with on a $100,000 account, and you've got to make 10K. So, I mean, for you to double an account, you're going to have to be over leveraged. Holy cow, it's 10:44. All right, guys. I hate to do this. I'd love to be on here and chat more, but I'm going to be in some deep, deep trouble. Not really, but I've got to get off here and get on that meeting. But anyhow, I hope everyone has an amazing day. I will say this. There's ways to have fun with the funded challenges. There's ways to not over leverage. You can buy, 2 funded accounts, click buy on one, click sell on the other. One's going to more than likely pass, one's going to fail. Then you just open up 2 more, click buy and sell. Sooner or later, you've got 5 or 6 funded accounts. You've already passed the hard part, which is doubling the account. Get through phase 2, and then you can use proper risk management. That's really the best I can give you. So, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, you're having to double an account, and people will tell you all day, no, you don't. It's a $100,000 account. If you had a $100,000 account, that means you could take the balance to 80K and bring it back up. You can't. Once your account gets to 90,000, they close your account, which means you are actively trading $10,000. If you have to make $10,000 to pass that first phase, that means you have to double the amount you're given to play with. So however you want to look at that, it's still doubled. So you just turn in, like he said right here, you just turn into gambling mode. You get 2 or 3 of them in your name. You get 2 or 3 of them in your wife's name. Get 2 or 3 of them in your parents' name, however many you want to get. You sit on a computer and you go buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, gambling, you're spending a couple of $100. In the end, if you pass the account, you've got a $10,000 account to play with. So $200-$300 for a $10,000 capital is not bad. If you risk 10 of those, that's 2 to 3K to still get a $10,000 account, which isn't terrible. But if you don't want to think about it, just do that and you're fine. It's gambling anyway, no matter how you look at it, guys. And Matthew, you do have to double it. You're looking at the 8 to 10% based on the whole amount they're giving you. It's called psychological numbers. So if you only have to make 10%, what is the 10%? The 10% of that account is $10,000. You only have $10,000 to risk. So if, for example, if you go into a $100,000 account and you're risking 10% of that account on a trade, how much does that mean you're risking per trade? $10,000, which means if you lose one 10% trade, you just blew your account. So you don't have a $100,000 account you're trading. You're trading $10,000 on the table because it's open capital that you're allowed to trade. So even if you go into a $100,000 account and you say, I'm going to trade at a 2% risk, this is why, just in case you guys don't know, I work for a tech company that builds brokers. There's a lot of psychological things that go into this. So think about you're trading a $100,000 account and you're going to risk 2%, okay? That means you're risking $2,000 for that trade. Your maximum risk for your entire account is only $10,000, which means if you lose one trade that is 2% risk, which is $2,000 of $100,000, you just risk 20% of your working capital that you're allowed to use. They make you believe it's a $100,000 account to where you will overtrade it using 1% to 2%, because when you fail the account, that's where money comes in. That's how prop firms make their money. That's how prop firms pay you. Prop firms pay you out of the money that people pay that they lose when trying to get accounts. They're not going to show you that you're trading a $10,000 account. If they were showing you had to trade a $10,000 account and you had to make 10% of that, you'd only have to make $1,000. But if you blew the whole account, they'd be risking $10,000. And some people can get away with that. You can trade 1.5%. If you trade 1.5% and you're having to, and let's say you're having to get that account to 10K, then you can do that all day. But if you're trading a $100,000 account and you're risking 1.5% on that account, it's not terrible. Hold on a second, guys. I'm having to send out a text message. Dun, dun, dun. So, all right, I'm back. So, for example, if you're trading a $100,000 account and you're risking 1.5%, you're still risking $1,500 per trade. Now, here's the thing. If you're a good trader, then yes, you can get away with this. At $1,500, which, by the way, isn't 1.5% risk, because remember, you only got 10% you can actually lose. You're risking 15% of that account. So if you are a good trader, you can get away with that, because risking that, trying to get to the $10,000 mark, you can be there in a matter of 6 to 7 good trades. But you can only use the amount they're giving you. And that's what I try to tell people. If they tell you you've got, let's say I came in and said, okay, you've got a $500,000 account. Go all at it. All you've got to make is 10% of a $500,000 account. How much is my maximum loss, Andy? $50,000. All right. So if I can only lose $50,000, if I tell you to trade a $50,000 account and you take a 10% risk on that trade, you're only risking $5,000. But if I make you think you have a $500,000 account and you're trading at a 10% risk, you're risking $50,000 for that one trade. You think you have a $500,000, but you don't. I'm cutting you off at a $50,000 loss. I'm closing the account altogether. Well, I'll risk 5%. That's $25,000. Yep, that's 50% of your working capital that you have. It's all a numbers game. And it blows my mind. No one ever thinks about that. Why are they telling you they're giving you a $100,000 account, but the moment it goes below $90,000, they kill it? Because you only have $10,000 of working capital. It's all a numbers game. Just how everything is. It's smoke and mirrors. It looks better on paper. And welcome to my TED Talk. Here's the thing. If you were risking 1% of your capital that you're allowed, so most funding companies will do a $5,000 on a $100,000 account. They'll do $5,000 maximum risk a day. That's the most you can lose in one day is $5,000. So if you were trading that $5,000 at 10% risk, then it'd be $500. So you can risk $500 on each trade. And if you do that and you're successful on your trades and they run really, really good, it only takes 20 trades at $500 to pass it. Now, granted, when you get into trades where you protect, you use runners and all that stuff, you can have trades that do really well. You can enter a trade at $25 a pip, risking $500. And if you're doing that, that's going to allow you 20 pips. If you get into a market open push at $25 a pip and that thing decides to run like it did the other day, 450 pips, you just passed your challenge in one trade. Literally in one trade. So again, it's possible. And there's going to be things that are going to change within the prop firm. I can promise you that. Carbon Capital is actually working on their prop firm. It should be rolled out within probably the next 60 to 70 days. And it's going to change how prop firms are handled. It's going to change how you pass the prop firms. It's going to change how the broker runs the prop firms on the back end for you. There's going to be a lot that's going to take place because we look at the total, as a tech guy, we look at all the prop firms and we're like, what's the one thing that's missing in some of these? And it's how they have you pass it. So there's a lot of things that's going to be brought in. Andrew, perfect. I would check my DMs as soon as I get out of my meeting. I'm running super late. I was supposed to be on that meeting at like 10:05, and then I was supposed to be on it at 10:30. and I was supposed to be on it at 10:50, and now here I still am. So with that being said, we'll get this last question here. On average, would you consider 50 points on US30 consistently a reasonable daily goal? 25 pips. 25 to 30 pips is pretty reasonable no matter where you enter US30, unless you have a massive push, because that's typically where it'll range at once it gets into consolidation. So, yep, 60 to 70 days is what we're looking at for the prop firm. So, guys, appreciate y'all being here. I will be jumping off this. I will start up a Zoom immediately and start recording it. And then that way you guys will have something to watch when I upload it on my announcement channel. Y'all have an amazing one, and we will see y'all soon.